Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Radha Madhava, Jai Kunja Vihari, Jai Radha Jai Kunja Vihari, Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jai Girivaradari, Jai Girivaradari, Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jai Girivaradari, Jai Girivaradari. Jai Radha Madhava, Jai Kunja Vihari, Jai Radha Madhava, Jai Kunja Vihari, Jai Yamuna Tiravanachari, Jai Kunja Vihari, Jai Yamuna Tiravanachari, Jai Kunja Vihari, Jai Radha Madhava, Jai Kunja Vihari, Jai Radha Madhava, Jai Kunja Vihari, Jaya Yasodhanandana, Jaya Brajajana Ranjana, Jaya Brajajana Ranjana, Jaya Yasodhanandana, Jaya Brajajana Ranjana, Jaya Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari, Jaya Kunja Vihari, Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari, Jaya Kunja Vihari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Vihari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Vihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Jaya Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर सतश्री श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी जगद्गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य सर्व द होल वर्ल्ड जगद्गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर सतश्री श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। श्री श्री शिला भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर आशीर्भाव महोत्सव तिथि की श्री पंचतत्व की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदी। All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories Srila Prabhupada and Gauranga. Today we are going to read from 11th chapter, text 3 and 4. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 11, the universal form, Vishwarup. Text 3. Evam etat yata ata tvam atmanam parameshvara drashtum ichchami te rupam aishwaram purushottama. Translation, purport, word by word translation, purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Evam, thus, etat, this, yata, as it is, ata, have spoken, no, ata, have spoken, tvam, you, atmanam, yourself, parameshvara, O Supreme Lord, drashtum, to see, ichchami, I wish, te, your, rupam, form, aishwaram, divine, purushottama, O best of personalities. Translation. O greatest of all personalities, O supreme form, though I see you here before me in your actual position, as you have described yourself, I wish to see how you have entered into this cosmic manifestation. I want to see that form of yours. Please repeat. O greatest of all personalities, O supreme form, though I see you here before me in your actual position, as you have described yourself, I wish to see how you have entered into this cosmic manifestation. I want to see that form of yours. Text 4. If you think that I am able to behold your cosmic form, O my Lord, O Master of all mystic power, then kindly show me that unlimited universal self. The Lord said that because He entered into the material universe by His personal representation, the cosmic manifestation has been made possible and is going on. Now, as far as Arjuna is concerned, he is inspired by the statements of Krishna. But in order to convince others in the future who may think that Krishna is an ordinary person, Arjuna desires to see him actually in his universal form, to see how he is acting from within the universe, although he is apart from it. Arjuna's addressing the Lord as Purushottama is also significant. Since the Lord is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, He is present within Arjuna himself. Therefore, he knows the desire of Arjuna, and he can understand that Arjuna has no special desire to see him in his universal form, for Arjuna is completely satisfied to see him in his personal form of Krishna. But the Lord can understand also that Arjuna wants to see the universal form to convince others. Arjuna did not have any personal desire for confirmation. Krishna also understands that Arjuna wants to see the universal form to set a criterion, for in the future there will be so many impostors who would pose themselves as an incarnation of God, as incarnations of God. The people therefore should be careful. One who claims to be Krishna should be prepared to show his universal form to confirm his claim to the people. So next verse he says, if you think that I am able to behold your cosmic form, O my Lord, then kindly show me. It is said, purport, it is said that one can neither see, hear, understand or perceive Supreme Lord Krishna by material senses. But if one is engaged in loving transcendental service to the Lord from the beginning, then one can see the Lord by revelation. Every living entity is only a spiritual spark. Therefore, it is not possible to see or understand the Supreme Lord. Arjuna, as a devotee, does not depend on his speculative strength. Rather, he admits his limitations as a living entity and acknowledges Krishna's inestimable position. Arjuna could understand that for a living entity it is not possible to understand the unlimited infinite. If the infinite reveals himself, then it is possible to understand the nature of the infinite by the grace of the infinite. The word Yogeshwara also is very significant here because the Lord has inconceivable power. If he likes, he can reveal himself by his grace, although he is unlimited. Therefore, Arjuna pleads for the inconceivable grace of Krishna. He does not give Krishna orders. Krishna is not obliged to reveal himself unless one surrenders fully in Krishna consciousness and engages in devotional service. Thus, it is not possible for persons who depend on the strength of their mental speculations to see Krishna. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami iti namine Namaste Saraswati Devam Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desitarane Sri Chaitanya Mano Vishtam Sapitam Yana Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamagyam Tadadi Swapadantikam Vancha Kalpataro Vishta Kripa Sindhubhe Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadada Srivasadi Gauru Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Prabhupada says that chapters 7 through 12 are the most important, and 1 through 6 and 13 through 18 are like book covers. So we are trying to understand why 7 to 12 are particularly important. And so we are going through 7th chapter, 8th chapter, 9th chapter. We are reading some slokas from each chapter. And today we have come up to 11th chapter and we are reading this verse. So we also notice that in each chapter, Krishna says, I shall tell you now something by knowing which you have nothing else to know. He says, 7th chapter. 8th chapter he says, now I'll tell you something confidential. The 9th chapter he says, I'll tell you something more confidential. Then 10th chapter he says, now I'll tell you something even more confidential. So I was thinking just yesterday, why is Krishna saying like that? And it's like somebody is in India, all of you know because you were all in India and you came here, and let's say that you're studying in school, then the parents say, they may not have, but let's say, they say that you're studying, but actually the purpose is that we want you to study well and go to America and get a job and study there and then get a degree and study like that if they say. And they could say that this is why, like, he's coming to 10th, 11th standard, then they say, this is why we were making you study, this is the purpose for which. Okay, that's good. Then they'll say, yeah, but in order to go there, you have to you have to go to some good school, for that you have to take some extra coaching, and they may say like that. And then when you start going there, they say, that now you have to apply for, IIT or this or that. And then you study in IIT, then they say you have to now apply here in fourth year, you have to apply to American universities, you should get their applications. And then after that they say, oh, that's all fine, but now you have to get the visa and you have to go to the American consulate here. And so it's each more and more direct knowledge about going to America begins to form as you go slowly. Oh, now you have to go to the airport and you have to get a ticket and you have to board the plane. That's even more close to going to America. So like that, when Krishna is saying that it's confidential, more confidential, he is giving knowledge. From the beginning, first in the 7th chapter, he's talking about the difference between matter and spirit, the phenomenal and the noumenal. That's just like the beginning saying, we want you to take tuition and all that special courses because we want you to eventually go to America, like that. But by the time you come to 12th chapter and all that, he's saying, now you have to go to the airport and catch the plane. So the knowledge is, but we should know that because he's saying, now you can come closer to me, like that. So these are confidential knowledge that is revealed one after another. When one progresses, there is no point in a boy who is already studying in just 11th grade. You can tell him that he has to study and join a good college, but you don't have to tell him you need to get a visa, that's far away. So in this way, Krishna is slowly giving in each chapter deeper and deeper knowledge. And in this chapter, he is actually going to show Arjuna the universal form. What is this universal form? So most people, including me, I used to think like this. We used to think that universal form is some ghastly big form and it is something special and, he has got thousands and thousands of hands and legs and this and that. That's all true. But what is actually the meaning of the universal form, which you can understand a little bit from the scientific view. And in the 7th chapter, Krishna says, in the beginning, that I shall now teach you both phenomenal and noumenal. And we discussed that. These two words have a meaning different from English. In English, when you say he's a phenomenal person, you mean he's a great person. But in scholarly philosophy, if he says a phenomenal person, it means it is an appearance, not real. Did you know that? No. Yes. But it's there in Bhagavad Gita in the 7th chapter. So just like if you see on the movie screen a man acting, there's a person, you say, oh, there's a person there, but it's a phenomenal person. Phenomenal means given in perception. And what is the reality underlying that? That's called noumenal. So phenomenally I see a person, but noumenally we discussed it before, like it's actually a screen on which the light is falling and the light is coming through a film. The film is being run by the projector and then you see a man running. So it is important to know the difference between phenomenal and noumenal. Normally, in common sense thinking, people think it's one and the same. You see me, it's a phenomenal person, like you see somebody in the movie screen acting. But we think that there is also a noumenal person, same. We think that there is the body there because of which I'm seeing. You follow? We assume this. It's an assumption. So in the West, people have actually figured this out in the last 2000 years, Western philosophers and scientists. But the yogis also have figured it out. There's another verse I'm going to read, so it's a little important. You have to, this is a little. So, we think when we see a phenomenal person on the movie screen, the reality is not a person but some things which are combining to form the effect of a person. But even the ordinary world is like that. This is a phenomenal person, behind there is no real person. We are thinking when we say we are not the body, it's a very advanced thing and I'm not going to go into that. We are thinking I'm not the body means it's like, there is a body and in that body there is a soul, like inside the car there is a driver, and just like the driver is not the body, the soul is not the body. The driver is not the car, similarly soul is not the body. That's not correct, because according to Upanishads, the soul is not the driver, the soul is the passenger. So difference between that example and reality is that the soul is only a passenger and the person who is driving the car is different from the soul. That is the false self, the subtle body, mind. It's all Vedanta, let's not worry about it. We want to first understand a little bit the universal form. This is all more advanced. Are you following?
Who's the driver?
Huh?
Who's the driver?
The driver is, that's why we are in illusion. It appears like we are driving, right? It looks like I'm lifting my hand, I'm walking, I'm talking, I'm eating, like that. But that's the illusion. That's why it is not so easy to get out. Normal illusion, if you're in a car and if you're thinking I'm the car, you can easily stop the car, see I'm not the car and get out.
Is universe driving us?
No. There's, of course, some people have this style of saying universe instead of God, isn't it? No. It's not that. That topic is more difficult. Just hear it and keep it. Oh, it's like that. It's not so easy. It's not Fukad mein nahi milega, free. That knowledge will not come. So that is why Prabhupada says here in the purport that anybody who depends on his ability to think, they cannot understand Krishna. We are thinking. So we should simply hear and say, oh, I can't understand this, it's nice. Then Krishna in the heart, I'm speaking, you are listening, and Krishna will actually reveal in the heart. That is the path of understanding God. So when we speak, it is not that as soon as you hear you can understand. That's not possible. But when we think, oh, I did not know this, oh Krishna, I didn't know this, then Krishna in the heart, he knows how to teach everybody. Anyway, so we'll get to that later. Who is the driver? Then Krishna explains that in the Bhagavad Gita. But right now, the point is, so this distinction between phenomenal and nominal is the beginning of Bhagavad Gita. It is, one has to understand this before you can understand second chapter. You are not the body or soul. But we are all thinking second chapter is fundamental. It's not. Because when you say we are not the body, your spirit soul, you don't even know what is the body, we don't know. We are thinking there is a body, this is body, like that. It's phenomenal. You're following? Just like on the TV screen you see somebody, a man is there, but you are seeing by eye. You are perceiving the pattern of light and seeing a man. Similarly, you cannot say, see, this is real, I'm touching. Because this is also another perception through sense of touch. It is no more real or unreal compared to sight. These are all difficult things, people. But the main reason I introduced this somewhat difficult topic is that you can ask, how do we know the nominal? The phenomenally, there's a person sitting here talking, like in a cinema screen somebody is talking. It's not real. But what is the nominal? You see? So, material science is the beginning of this, effort to understand the nominal. So they will say that the phenomenal is this is a cushion. But nominally they will say this is consisting of certain chemicals, cotton. Cotton is made of cellulose or whatever it is. They got all they find out like that. So, but they are going, this is a very important point, next point is, so they are going by object by object by object. They are trying to understand. Are you following? Object by object by object. The whole universe they do not see. So they can try to understand the nominal behind different objects. But they cannot understand the nominal behind the whole universe because you are not seeing the whole universe. Are you following? So what you cannot see, because science is based on experience, what you do not see the whole universe. Has anybody seen the whole universe? Nobody has seen. So, nobody has seen the whole universe. Therefore, you cannot know what is the nominal behind that whole universe. The nominal behind the whole universe is the universal form. Just like when you see the phenomenal man speaking on the screen, the nominal is screen and light and projector. Like that, when the whole universe, the reality behind that, the nominal, for that manifestation, is actually the universal form. So unless you can see the whole universe at one time, you cannot understand what is the universal form. Are you following this point? Now, Prabhupada speaks that in the next 2-3 verses later. So Prabhupada is writing so much deeply, but we don't know. Therefore we are thinking that we understand, but it's not so simple. He says, then Krishna says, okay, I am going to give you the eyesight by which you can see the whole universe sitting in one place. But at that time, you will, when I show you the universal form, you will understand I am the nominal behind that phenomenal. So he is giving you special eyesight. He is giving Arjuna first to see the whole universe. So he says, oh best of the Bharatas, see here the different manifestations of Adityas, Vasus, Yudra, Ashwini Kumaras and all the other demigods. Behold the many wonderful things which no one has ever seen or heard of before. They're all there. He's saying you can see everything. Whatever you wish to see, behold at once in this body of mine. The universal form. I am the nominal and you can see everything. This universal form can show you whatever you now desire to see and whatever you may want to see in the future. Everything moving and non-moving is here completely in one place. And then Prabhupada writes in the purport. And normally people, you cannot understand that the sentence unless I have explained what I have explained. He says, no one can see the entire universe while sitting in one place. We will not understand what is this unless I said all these things, right? Otherwise it's just like he's saying something. Even the most advanced scientists cannot see what is going on in other parts of the universe. But a devotee like Arjuna can see everything that exists in any part of the universe. Krishna gives him the power to see anything he wants to see, past, present and future. Thus by the mercy of Krishna, Arjuna is able to see everything. So the ability to actually see the universal form comes from the ability to be able to see the whole universe, which is phenomenal. And so Prabhupada always says, if there is somebody says he's a God, then you ask him to show the universal form. So we are thinking like, and at least I was thinking before Prabhupada gave me some ability to understand through science, but that's a different matter. So I used to think that, okay, Prabhupada is saying that this Babaji says he is God, can he show the universal form with millions of hands and millions of legs? That's not the point. The point is that first of all, he must be able to make you experience the whole universe while sitting in one place. And then he has to show the nominal behind it. Otherwise, just if you go into a theatre and you just see the chairs and so many chairs and said, okay, that's one. And then somebody takes you behind and shows you the screen and all that. That's another thing. And then somebody takes you to the projection room and shows projector. That's another thing. But you cannot see that person moving unless all of this works together. Similarly, unless we are able to see all the aspects of the universe working together, we cannot understand there is God. Try to understand this point. The nominal is that people say, where is God? But Krishna is very, very, very scientific, because Prabhupada says here, Krishna, Arjuna is telling, you have told me before, Maya Tatamidam Sarvam, in the previous chapter, that by my unmanifest form I have pervaded everything. You remember? We read that. Therefore he is saying, I want, and you are standing in front of me right now on the chariot and you are talking. I know that, there is something here. You are standing in front of me, but you also say you have entered the whole universe. I want to see how you are entering the whole universe while you are being in one place. You can imagine how intelligent Arjuna is. Right? We read that, right? Today's verse is saying that. I can see you in one place, you are standing here now, but how is it that you say you are all over the universe? It's a science. Bhagavad Gita is not a joke. Are you all following? So simply by reading the book of Prabhupada, you cannot understand. He has to explain it. That he says that in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 2nd canto, he says, you cannot buy these books in the marketplace and read. Although he is saying, distribute my books, he is also writing that. O greatest of all personalities, O supreme form, though I see you here before me in your actual position, as you have described yourself in the previous chapter, I wish to see how you have entered into this cosmic manifestation. It's there. That's all nonsense. That's all later. When I was, I'll give you an example. Krishna's pastime. Oh, Krishna stole butter. What Krishna stole butter? What do you know? You don't know is Krishna. What is this? Krishna stole butter. Nonsense. Did you see any Prabhupada speak about Krishna did this, Krishna did that? No. Always philosophies. Oh, fools and rascals. They don't understand. They are not the body. They are animals. That's all Prabhupada was speaking. When I was in college, school, let's say pre-university, just when I had gone, in those days I was pre-university, I wanted to go, even in those days, I'm talking about 1960s, I wanted to go to America and study physics. Somehow I was a child, I went to college when I was 14 years old, so I was somehow I got, so I wrote, and those days America, if you write to a university, they will send you a big catalog, 300-page catalog, and it will come in a beautiful, nice, sturdy package, and then on the top they would have written with electric typewriter. My name will be there, Ravi Government. Wow, the place comes, it's free, they'll just send it. So I write to different universities. So you said Harvard University, and it'll come. So then if you take that, then there's so many pictures of beautiful things, and it's like going to Goloka, going to Harvard University, whether you study or not, but at least, you just look at these things. And then they will also say Harvard Debating Club, and then Harvard Rowing Club. There is a 120-year competition going between Harvard and MIT. That's MIT. We hear all of this. But it is not that you are going to straight away go into that Harvard MIT rowing club and you're going to be a part of the, even if you're a great rower in India. First you have to study here, then you have to get admission, then you must join, and then you have to study, then you... So those are all shown to attract you. But your job is first to understand this. So Krishna is stealing butter and dancing with the gopis. These are all just for attracting you, attracting us, conditioned souls. But first you have to understand this philosophy. Otherwise it's very impossible. Following? So devotees are thinking like, oh, we will, Chaitanya Charitamrita, the Lord was actually fainting and he couldn't see Krishna. Not for you. For you, Arjuna is saying, I know that you are standing in front of me, but he said in the last chapter that Maya Tatam Vidam Sarvam Jagat Avyakta Murtina. Kaisa hua? Please tell me. Krishna says, no, phenomenal, nominal, you understand first. And Prabhupada is right. I was so stunned, and then I was reading, because I'm doing this science, I was thinking about phenomenal, nominal, and then I understood this. But then I turned and Prabhupada says, so I actually understood that it's a very deep topic. I'm not even going deeply into it, but just take it for granted. What you can see, you can only know the nominal for that. That's what I'm saying. And you don't see the universe. So you cannot know God. People are saying, can you show me God? How can I show you God unless I show you the whole universe? Because that's God. So that's why people say, I believe the universe is talking to me. Some people use this language. Because they are atheists. They don't want to use the term God. But the universe is not talking to you unless you can see the whole universe. Just like an ant is staying on my leg. How can he know me? So if you are like an ant in one corner of the universe, how can he know God? I mean, do you follow this point, Lakshman? It's very, for me, it's amazing. I am myself thrilled by this, because I also didn't know. I was thinking universal form means some Krishna will show some magic and you will see some. But the scientific point is that you have to first see the whole universe. And so Krishna is first. How scientific the whole, it's called empiricism. And science is empirical. That means it's based on experience. You cannot just talk. That's a big topic. I'm not going into all of that. But if you know that, you will see that, wow, Krishna is first of all telling you, I'm going to show you the whole universe. Then behind the universe, you can see me. Like you are showing the ant. You are not seeing Rasaraj, you are only seeing something, some little piece here. I am going to show the ant the whole Rasaraj, the whole phenomenal. Then behind that you can see the nominal. Are you following? Isn't it amazing? It's very surprising. So this is the science that he is explaining in all these chapters. So Bhagavad Gita is a great science, and so I just thought I'll share with all of you today what exactly is a universal form. It is not some magic. So forget somebody showing that I am God, because like you saw Krishna on the chariot, you can also see me. I've got nice hairdress and this and that, hairstyle. I'm God. That's okay. But you first show me your universal form. But to show the universal form, you have to be able to make me see everything. That cannot be a cheating thing. In summary, the fact that Lord Krishna first gave Arjuna Divya Chakshu, or divine eyes, by which Arjuna could see the whole phenomenal universe, and also simultaneously see the nominal universal form underlying it, shows that Bhagavad Gita as it is a book of science, not mythology. This is because the Bhagavad Gita delineates in the 11th chapter the proper way to understand that God creates the whole phenomenal world by first explaining in the 7th chapter the proper relationship between the phenomenal and the nominal, the actual subject matter of modern science. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.